Welcome to ABC Interactive English. Hi everyone, I'm Mike.
And I am Karen. Today we are looking at part 1 of our story called Moses Parts the Red Sea. I think this is a very famous story, right? But, can you just tell everyone who is Moses?
That is a great question. And of course, yes, this is a Bible story. Actually, you know what, Karen? I think we can call this a Bible epic. Meaning a really, really long story. It is actually 3 days in our magazine this month. So
That's
it is
true.
Quite a long story. And I'm also thinking about the movies featuring Moses that have been produced by Hollywood. A lot of them are quite long. So it is kind of a big story. And that actually makes sense because Moses, of all the characters in the old part of the Bible, so this is all the stuff that happened before Jesus, which is in the new part of the Bible. This is the Old Testament. Of all the characters in the Old Testament, he certainly had one of the most interesting lives. I really do think that that's true. Well, there's many, many things that people think of with Moses. He was found as a baby floating down a river.
Wow.
And the daughter of the king, the Pharaoh, the emperor of Egypt, found him and brought him into her family. So he was raised as a rich young man.
Okay.
And then he discovered he was Jewish and he helped his Jewish brothers and sisters escape from Egypt where they were slaves. And then he found the 10 Commandments, messages from God, and he brought those down to people. And as if that wasn't enough for a Bible story or for a big Hollywood movie, he just went down to the Red Sea, which is like a big bit of water still there between Egypt and Saudi Arabia, and he split it in half.
Dun dun!
So he helped all his people escape. So, he had a lot going on, this Moses guy. He wasn't just sitting around praying. No, he was out there doing stuff.
And then it sounds like a really, really brave and kind man, right?
Yeah, in many ways. And a great big beard. And there are actually quite a few good Hollywood movies. So if you're interested about the life of Moses from reading our story or epic, because it is a pretty big, exciting story, we recommend you watch those. But let's get to the story. You'll see some of the things he did, and today we're going to focus on that amazing part where Moses parts the Red Sea.
Let's go.
Moses was a good and honest man. One day, God sent him to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. They were God's people, and the king of Egypt treated them badly. Moses and the Israelites walked through the desert. Soon, they reached the Red Sea.
So today we are looking at part 1 of our famous story, right? Moses parts the Red Sea.
That's right. And remember, this is just one of the amazing things Moses did in his very interesting life, but probably also one of the most famous things he did. So let's find out all about Moses and how he managed to part the Red Sea. I couldn't do that. All right, so it says, Moses was a good and honest man. Well, that's nice. It's good that we can cheer for him because he was a good guy. That means he was kind, he was nice to people, and also a very good quality in a person. He was honest. Now, this adjective honest, it means he would tell the truth. If you're an honest person, you tell the truth. Even if you could get in trouble, you will not tell a lie. You will not try to trick people or make people think something is true when it's not. No, you will give them the truth even if it can get you in trouble. So he's a very honest or truthful person.
Okay, so it sounds like he's a really nice and kind and good, honest person, right? Okay, then let's see what happens. One day, God sent him to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. Oh, so he has a very, very important mission from God, right?
That is a very important mission. When God is your boss and tells you to do something, you should probably do it. And in this case, his job was to lead the Israelites. That was the Jewish people from that time. That's just another word for the people of the Jewish religion. Lead them out of Egypt, where they had been held as slaves. So he was leading them to freedom.
That's right.
Very cool. All right, let's go over to Tina for a quick break. Then we'll be back.
Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的单字跟文法重点。首先来看看单字的部分。Honest, honest， 形容词，诚实的。Ben is an honest boy, so he never lies. Ben 是一个诚实的男孩，所以他从不说谎。我们再来看一下文法重点。刚刚课文提到了 A sends B to 加动词 A 派 B 去做某事。Send 在这里指的是送、派遣，它的受词后面要接不定词。我们来看看这个例句 Mike sent his son to get some milk from the store. Mike 派他的儿子去商店买牛奶。接着我们回到课文当中。
And we are back. So let's find out what the plan was. After leading them out of Egypt, it says they, the Israelites, were God's people. And the king of Egypt, also known as the Pharaoh, right? That's what we call those ancient kings of Egypt. The king of Egypt treated them badly. Yes, they were slaves. They had no freedom. They had to work for no money, and living in Egypt was not good for the Israelites.
So the king of Egypt does not seem like a nice person, right? Because the way he treated the Israelites. So to treat somebody, the verb treat means to act or behave towards someone or something in a particular way. You can treat someone in a really nice way, or you can treat someone really badly, calling people names or being really mean to them. So an example sentence would be, the teacher treats all the students fairly. And that's very important, right? And then you make all the students feel loved.
Yeah, absolutely. Be nice to them and treat them or do things to them the way you would want them to treat you or do things to you.
Exactly. Okay, let's continue the article. Moses and the Israelites walked through the desert. Soon they reached the Red Sea. Okay, so like we said, he was leading. That means he was ahead of them, right? Telling everyone where to go to walk through the desert. And soon they reached the Red Sea. And this is the part where he's going to part the Red Sea, right?
Well, we hope so. Otherwise, how will they get across?
By swimming?
Well, maybe. I don't know if all of them can swim, and there would be little babies and little kids.
True.
I don't think there was a bridge, so we're going to find out what exactly happens after we check in with Tina one more time.
我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的单字 treat 动词对待 The teacher treats every student kindly. 老师善待每一位学生 kindly 指的就是亲切的。接着我们回到课文当中。
And now we are back. So, we talked about how Moses is a kind and an honest person, and he has an important mission from God, right?
Yes,
and then he's leading the Israelites out of Egypt because he wants to save them, and now they're at the Red Sea.
That's right. We should also point out that he wasn't just free to leave Egypt with all these people who were slaves. The Pharaoh and his army were chasing after the Israelites and Moses, trying to catch them and bring them back. So they didn't have all the time in the world to slowly walk out of Egypt. They had to escape. They had to run away for their lives and for their freedom. So,
That's right. Sounds pretty scary, though.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on Moses to make sure these people who trust him, who believe in him, are going to be safe and free. Well, we're going to go to the second part of the story. Let's check that out right now, and then we'll be back. However, they didn't rest for long. They saw the king and his army coming after them. The Israelites were scared. The Red Sea was in front of them, and the king and his army were behind them. They couldn't go anywhere.
Welcome back, everyone. So before the break, we're looking at this famous story. Moses parts the Red Sea, right? We know he is a great man, and he's trying to help the Israelites escape Egypt because the king of Egypt treats them badly. And right now they are at the Red Sea, and like you said, they're kind of in a dangerous situation because the king of Egypt and the army, they're all after them, right?
That's right. Of course, things are better now. They are further away from Egypt, from where they were slaves. They've walked all the way across this big, dry, hot desert, but at least they're getting towards freedom.
That's right.
But they're not totally free yet, and as you can imagine, walking with thousands of people, and not all of these were young, healthy people. There would have been old people with them, young babies and children. So this was a long, difficult journey. And so the next sentence says, however, they didn't rest for long. You can imagine they're really tired. They'd love to take a good break and relax and rest and maybe even get some sleep, but they couldn't do that for long. They couldn't do that and stay there for a long time. Why? Well, it says, they saw the king and his army coming after them. So the Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, and his big army are coming, and they're on horses and they're moving much faster. And they're not coming to say, bye, Moses, have a good time on your trip. They're coming to say, come back with us, you will never be free. So of course, Moses and his followers don't have a long time to rest. Now, when you're tired, when you've been working really hard, when you're hot and thirsty or whatever, when your body needs to time out, to stop for a moment, that's when we would use this verb to rest. Okay, doesn't mean you've quit work for the day or finished school and you can go home and take a long sleep. No, this is a shorter period. When you stop work, you rest, or we can also use it as a noun to take a rest, maybe for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, maybe for lunchtime, an hour, but then you will go back to work soon, not in a long time, but in a short time. So when you rest, you take a stop or a pause from your work, but you will go back to it. All right, so let's go over to Tina now, and then we will come back to see what the next part of the article says. I'm getting nervous.
Me too. I hope they're okay.
Yeah, let's find out after Tina.
我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的单字 rest 动词休息 Dad is resting on the sofa after work 爸爸下班后正在沙发上休息文法的部分刚刚提到了 A sees B 加上 VING A 看到 B 正在做某事 See 是感官动词指的是看见它的三态是 see, saw, seen 接现在分词时强调动作进行的过程。我们来看看这个例句。Eric saw his brother eating cookies in the kitchen. Eric 看到他的弟弟正在厨房吃饼干。如果接原形动词，则是强调完整的动作。我们来看看这个例句。I saw Nelson turn off the light. 我看到 Nelson 把灯关掉了。Come after 追赶追捕。我们来看看这个例句。The dog came after me when I ran past the house. 我跑过那栋房子时，那只狗开始追我。接着我们回到课文当中。
All right, we are back. So here we are. The Israelites are tired, they're hot, they're ready to rest, but the army is chasing them. What are they going to do?
Okay, well, let's continue and find out. The Israelites were scared.
I'm scared.
Of course they would be scared. I would be scared too.
I'm scared now.
Yeah. Okay, well, scared, that is an adjective. Scared means feeling fear or being afraid. It can mean being nervous or frightened by something. So, of course, they're scared of the king of Egypt and the whole army, right? Okay. So, an example sentence would be, I'm scared of the dark or the loud thunder scared me. Well,
Scared, you can also say it frightened you.
That's right. And we're using that as a verb, right? So being scared, you can say, I'm scared. I feel scared. Or I'm scared of something.
Yeah, I think something really bad is going to happen to me soon, and I feel like I can't control it. And of course, yes, if an army is chasing you and they could hurt you or throw you back in jail, you would be scared. And then it says, the Red Sea was in front of them. So here's this big sea, this big body of water, not quite an ocean, but big, too big to walk or swim across. So that was in front of them, and the king and his army were behind them.
Oh, no.
They couldn't go anywhere. We could also say they were trapped between the sea and the bad guys with nowhere to escape.
That's right. How about let's go to Tina first and we'll come back soon.
Sounds good.
我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的单字 scared 形容词害怕的 The children were scared during the thunderstorm 孩子们在雷雨中感到害怕 Thunderstorm 指的是大雷雨接着我们回到课文当中
And now we're back. I don't think we're going to find out the ending of the story right
It's
now.
It's an epic. We have 2 more days.
That's right, but I am very nervous and I'm very scared too. I hope they are okay.
Well, all I have to say to you is, don't worry, Moses has got it.
Okay, I hope so.
I hope I'm not giving away too much. But yes, come back and join us tomorrow. It'll be really, really cool, we promise. Moses was a good and honest man. One day, God sent him to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. They were God's people, and the king of Egypt treated them badly. Moses and the Israelites walked through the desert. Soon, they reached the Red Sea. However, they didn't rest for long. They saw the king and his army coming after them. The Israelites were scared. The Red Sea was in front of them, and the king and his army were behind them. They couldn't go anywhere.
我们来复习一下这一课的重点单字跟文法。单字的部分 honest 形容词诚实的 treat 动词对待 rest 动词休息 scared 形容词害怕的。接着我们来看看文法的部分 A sends B to 加动词 A 派 B 去做某事 Jack sent his driver to pick up his wife Jack 派他的司机去接他太太A sees B 加上 VING A 看到 B 正在做某事 Haley sees people working on the farms Haley 看到人们正在田里工作接原形动词则是强调完整的动作 I saw Jim close the window 我看到 Jim 把窗户关上了 Come after 追赶追捕 Why are the police coming after you 为什么警方在追捕你以上就是这一课的重点单词跟文法那我们下一课再见咯拜拜
Have you ever tried stinky tofu? It's a type of tofu that is fermented and gives off a strong, pungent odor. It is served either deep fried or steamed, and one of the most popular places to order it is a place called Shenkeng Old Street. Are you looking for a place to spend time with friends and family? Shenkeng Old Street is a great choice. Once you visit, you will see classic brick buildings. Shenkeng is known all over Taiwan for its great famous tofu. There are a lot of tofu restaurants and vendors on the street. The tofu made in Shenkeng has a special burned flavor. You can find grilled stinky tofu, steamed stinky tofu, and even tofu ice cream. If you don't like tofu, you can try other snacks too, like taro balls and peanut candy. Have some grass jelly tea if you feel hot and thirsty. After enjoying all the wonderful food, check out a traditional Taiwanese grocery store. The toys and candy there will make you feel like a kid again. So, if you're a tofu lover, Shenkeng Old Street is the perfect place for you to visit. There's so many delicious bean curd dishes waiting for you to try.